Hey guys, and welcome to the show. I think I hear myself twice in someone's microphone. Doesn't matter, it's all right. Guys, welcome back to our live stream, live show, live podcast thing. We still have no idea what we are doing, but we are here to tell you the latest news about what's happening in Denmark and the biggest fuck ups we have experienced when we were moving to Denmark for the first time. Today I'm joined here with Denisa, who can say hi or does it's all right.
Oh yes, hello guys. Thank you for joining us today.
Radim is here as well.
Hey.
Who is a bit frozen. That's okay. Michael too.
Hi.
Magda. And Yara.
Hello, hello. And I don't know about you guys, but I see myself frozen right now.
Yeah, you seem a bit frozen.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's my voice isn't frozen, so you can still enjoy it. So, welcome, guys.
I'm getting PTSDs from my Zoom lectures right now. Is this working? Is this frozen? Is my microphone working? How is the slide looking?
But at least Yara is looking very content.
Yeah.
I think Yara should restart his webcam.
Yeah, I might be frozen, but I'm frozen, comfortable.
But the picture is pretty nice.
Yeah, you're smiling. Oh,
still there.
He's back. So guys, while Yara is going to figure out what is wrong with his webcam, we are going to give you the digest of what happened in Denmark over the past week. We're going to give you the brief update of all the news that are relevant for you when you are a student in Denmark. And for that, we have Michael here, who is our self-proclaimed news correspondent. And that is Denisa. And that is Michael. So Michael, what's been happening in Denmark over the past week?
My name is Michael and I'm self-proclaimed news correspondent. So what happened? As always, we started with a Corona update. As we got rid of the problems with AstraZeneca by actually outphasing the AstraZeneca in Denmark, there is Johnson & Johnson with the same problems that Denmark actually bought 8 million doses of, which might be a problem because Johnson & Johnson is also possibly connected with the danger of blood. So we're going to see what is going to happen. The good thing about that is that it's bound to a different kind of virus. So that actually might be safer than the AstraZeneca. But if we are still waiting on the decision made by the Danish Medicines Agency.
So what is happening? Is there some new virus, or what was the update?
Well, the thing is that AstraZeneca was going to adenovirus, and this Johnson & Johnson is bound to some chimpanzee virus, and the way how they work are a bit different. So we're gonna see what is gonna happen. But Johnson & Johnson looks promising. Also, it's better in a way that needs only one shot or one jab. So we are hoping that it's going to go through and that we can get everyone vaccinated.
Is the one that we ordered, Denmark ordered 8 million of?
Yes.
Fair enough.
That's almost twice as much as people in Denmark.
So we can get 2 shots, even though we need only 1. The more the better.
Also, the Prime Minister was a part of an interview with the leader of the opposition, Jakob Ellemann, and they were answering questions regarding the masks, the summer festivals, summer vacation, nightlife, and stuff. Mette Frederiksen, which is the Prime Minister, she's very conservative about answering those questions. Because she's a prime minister, she can't just answer how she wants. But they were pretty. They agreed on that the masks should be relaxed since from the 1st of September, which is good. Also, the nightlife, it should be also possible to take to club or to dance out until the New Year's, which is still 6-8 months to go. But there is a light at the end of a tunnel.
So we get to go back to the clubs.
Yes. We are hoping that. As far as the festivals, That's a bit more complicated because a large portion of Denmark is still not vaccinated. So it's not really going to happen as we are used to. But there's a chance that the festivals are going to happen to some scale, even though it's going to be very limited in comparison with the previous festivals. As far as the summer trips or the vacation, that actually might happen as Denmark is going to be changing its travel restrictions pretty soon. And even though the prime minister hasn't booked a vacation, as it has been offered to her that she can go to Spain in June, and she declined that, which annoyed the tourism industry that was hoping for some kind of positive words that people should be booking their vacations because the tourism kind of dies right now. Yeah, we should be able to go and travel also pretty soon, but everything is connected with the amount of people vaccinated or the number of people vaccinated. Then we move to politics, and my favorite one from this week is the huge diplomatic war between Czech Republic and Russia. There has been an explosion in ammunition storage in Czech Republic in 2014, and now new facts or new things came to surface that it was actually 2 Russian agents that made this to explode, and that's actually the same 2 Russians that poisoned the former Russian agent Skripal in the UK in 2018. And that means that Czech Republic, right when they found out, they expelled 18 Russian diplomats. And then Czech Republic, they expelled 18 Russian diplomats. Russia expelled 20 Czech diplomats, and then there was some kind of ultimatum that Russia didn't they didn't accept that. So that means that Czech Republic and Russia's diplomatic connection is really bad right now. So what is going to happen now?
Was it confirmed that it was the Russians?
Well, Czech police and Czech intelligence service, they say that they have evidence for that. Even though Czech president in his speech yesterday said that there is no direct evidence to the favor of Russian media. So, but yeah, we're going to see what is going to happen. And there are many Russians abroad in the EU. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Czech Republic expelled so many diplomats that didn't leave any space for the other countries to just do some symbolic gesture, but they have to act. So it is expected that many countries are going to also expel Russian diplomats, and Russia is going to expel their diplomats. So it's getting a bit cold in the diplomatic scene of Europe right now. But yeah, we just have to wait what is going to happen.
And how is Denmark going to react to this?
That is still unclear, as everything is going to be more clear after the summit of NATO in the start of June. I think that's a bit late, but Denmark is going to probably react somehow to show support to the Czech Republic, even though they already showed support by words. But it is expected that many countries are going to also show support by gestures. Next thing is that one of the favorite drugs of young teens in Denmark is the laughing gas. That is probably going to be banned soon. The gas is normally used for making a whipped cream in those bottles, like in industrial whipped cream bottles. But the side effect of the gas is you're going to get high for like 5-6 seconds after you ingest that. Politicians don't like that, so they're going to ban it. And just to make sure that it still can be used for its original purpose, there is supposed to be some kind of special permission to store and transport the small packaging of the gas. So interesting. So no more metal bottles of gas in the streets on Saturday morning.
Have you,
And
have you guys ever tried it? Because I think I haven't.
I have tried it once, and it's not worth it.
It's not worth it?
I mean, it's you just feel like you are floating for like 5 seconds, and then it's gone, and then you take another one. I mean, I didn't take another one, but
What if you would take like 10 times as much dosage? Would you be flying for 50 seconds?
I have no idea.
We have to try something.
I mean, it's super bad for your lungs. And,
It's an experiment.
yeah. But yeah, so don't do it, guys.
Is it expensive, or is it like how much is a bottle of laugh gas, or also how big
I'm
is the
not sure
bottle?
about the price, but you can buy it everywhere. You can buy it on each and every corner in Copenhagen, like in those small kiosks. Like everyone sells that.
Well, not anymore, huh?
Well, they are still saying that it's not banned yet, but there has been a big intergovernmental support of this idea of banning that. So
Have the kids never heard about alcohol? I mean, what's
They
the
do.
deal?
Yeah, maybe that's too mainstream. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this also this ban wasn't implemented after some guy hit some kids in a car while being high on the laughing gas?
Yeah.
Because I think otherwise, there would be no particular reason to do so, to ban it. But
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This came as a response to a case when a 21-year-old guy hit a girl that died, I believe, like a
would be.
very young girl. So and he was at the time of driving, he was high on the laughing gas. I'm not totally sure how, as from my experience, it lasts only a couple of seconds, but maybe he was taking that while he was driving.
Yeah. Or maybe he figured out what happens if you take like 10 times the dose.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the thing, because you said like you'll be high for 5 seconds. So I was thinking about the logistics of you hitting that thing, getting into your car, speeding up so much that you, God forbid, hit a child, and then you hit a child within 5 seconds. I mean, come on, that must be some kind of record right there. But
I mean, again, it's kind of an allegation because it's super hard to prove as it's not really stored in your blood, or like you don't have traces on that in your blood, I believe. So it's super hard to prove that you're high on that, or like you've been high on that.
Fair enough.
So it's quite. So most likely he just came in the police station and he was like, "Oh, I was on laughing gas and I did that." Otherwise, they cannot find out, right?
Or maybe they just found those containers in his car.
Yeah, if you share my slide, I have the containers on I found it on an image on Google
it's fine.
Images.
Oh, I thought that
see
you
it?
found it in your room.
Found it in my car.
I've never done it.
It's just this is everything in my backseat. This thing.
Yeah, actually, they are from time on the street. Just you can find them, like lying on the ground.
I suppose this is the primary usage of those, not for
Exactly.
kids to get high. Maybe this kid was getting high from it, but that was not the purpose.
And like first I'm seeing it like, oh, how many people are making whipped cream in the parks?
So Denmark banning those. We are not gonna get high on laughing gas anymore. What else is Denmark banning in upcoming days?
The festivals, as I said, are not going to happen as we are used to. So yeah, probably no Roskilde Festival, nor North Side or Tinderbox are going to happen, or at least in the form as we know it. As I said before, there can be only sections of 2,000 people at once. At the same time, only 10,000 people may be gathered at a festival at the same time. In comparison, at Roskilde Festival, it used to, or like, it's usually around 70,000 people at one place. Plus, one of the big perks of Roskilde Festival there is not going to be any camping. And the camping, I heard, is actually better than the actual festival because you have that strong sense of community. Everything smells like pee and drunk people. There's vomit everywhere.
That's a festival spirit. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't take that out of the festival.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember or remember? Have you guys heard about the concert that was happening in Russia by Metallica? It was like in 1991. I don't know if you guys seen some videos from it, but there was 1.6 million people in that one concert.
1.6 million.
1.6 million, yeah. There was like just after the Iron Curtain was lifted in Russia, and so music from the West could get into Russia, and Metallica was, I suppose, really big in Russia. So they had a concert, and there was 1.6. There was a helicopter for scale up there. So those were all the people that were in a concert. 1.6 million.
Wow.
So just to give you an idea that things can get pretty big, and 10,000 people. That's nothing. That's a joke.
Imagine those speakers they had to use for that concert, in the 90s.
Also, imagine being the guy in the middle of the crowd and having to go to pee. Oh, yeah. You see, this is not going to happen with 10,000 people only.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be like 5,000 pissoirs for 10,000 people. So everything is all right there. But the good news is that we can finally go to restaurants. Right, guys?
I've been to a restaurant on Friday.
Surreal, right? You get to sit in a restaurant and not eat like a homeless on the street.
Actually, it was on Saturday. It was so weird. I mean, last time I was in a restaurant was October, November. In the meantime, I ate a lot of takeout, or takeaway, but it doesn't really count. But yeah, I was in a restaurant and like there was a waiter and we could sit there and there were like plates and so weird.
People serve you and everything. Yeah. But you have to come with a corona test or with corona passport to be more precise, which consists of either negative corona test within the last 72 hours or being vaccinated against corona. Today I was just at the test. I had the things stick down my throat, and there is one question that I have in my mind to ask you, Michael. In front of me in a car, there was some family with a small kid, and the small kid really didn't want to be tested. He was probably like 4 or 5, so he was really stubborn and he didn't want to, do the thing. And I had to witness it because I was in a car behind it, so there was not much I can do when you are in a driving corona test. I just had to stand there and witness it. So, what do you do from your experience, Michael, when there is a small kid that doesn't want to take the corona test? Like, what do you do? Do you force it, or do you just let it
shove
go?
it in their throat?
That's probably not the thing.
Thank you for a question. Well, the thing is, we can't force them. Like, under no circumstances can we force them to get tested. Neither the parents can force them to do that. That means that the child itself has to have a will to get tested. Because if we would force them, or if we would even be a part of the action that the parent would hold like this, the child, we just can't do it because it's a crime. Like, we could be sent to prison for that.
Okay. So even if the kid has a lunchbox, you cannot help it open it.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, yeah, we just can't do that. If they really need the test, they can go to a hospital, and in a hospital they have a bit different laws that they can use. So they can force the child a bit more, but we can't force them. But what we do, or what I do, is I'm trying to have a conversation with the kid, and really not talking to the child, but with the child, and kind of trying to build up that safety and the good atmosphere. So and I talk about so much stuff, so they actually forget that they are scared. And I understand they are scared because we have those how do you call it, ropes and the visors and the masks. So yeah, we are pretty scary. But then the most important part of my job as sometimes a child tester is the communication.
Thank you for nice answer. So, guys, time has come for us to talk about the fuck ups. Or, unless Michael has some other news.
I have one last news.
One last news. So let's hear it out
Yes.
before we talk about it.
Last but not least, when I mentioned last time that it's a good idea to work for the online supermarket called Nemly.com, don't. There has been a big revelation that their working conditions are terrible. So terrible that actually some government agencies and some administrative districts of Denmark are stopping its cooperation with this online supermarket. Um, I mean, they work 15 hours a day, as one driver described. They're working 15 hours a day. The days full of stress and fear, long periods without days off, large fines for everything. That would say that if they have to load the car in the morning with the stuff they have to drive around, if it's take more than 15 minutes, they're gonna get fined. If the goods are not delivered in a window of 6 minutes, they are fined, and often their fines are bigger than their daily wage. Plus, if some of those transgressions are going to happen, their name is going to appear on like a big screen in their storage. Yeah, so it's like a screen of shame.
Yeah, but that's not what they want you to see. They claim to have like wait, what is the model of Nemly? Is it a free delivery or do you get to pay for the delivery? Some
You
flat
pay
rate.
some fee for that. I believe it's well, it depends on when you want to get it delivered. Like if it's
Yeah.
Friday evening, it's expensive. If it's Tuesday early morning, it's cheap.
Yeah.
But also one more, they got like one more shot to their back, and that is that in Denmark you have this system of smileys as far as the hygiene at the workplace, and they just lost a smiley.
They just
Which,
lost a smiley.
yeah, the hygiene was not good. But that's another problem they have to face now. So we're gonna see what is gonna happen.
No. But this is the thing that, kids remember always, for whatever convenience that you are getting, there is someone else struggling for that one. So this is the exact case. Like, you want to get your groceries delivered? Of course. For 20 kronas? Of course. But there is some guy that is breaking a sweat just to get the groceries to you in time. Otherwise, he's going to be in a wall of shame. So remember that next time you order something.
And imagine receiving the goods and just telling him, like, have a nice day, and, he's just crying inside.
He's like, I'm already 30 minutes behind. Yeah. So yeah, let's not get too negative. Let's just talk about some positive things. Oh wait, fuck ups when we move to the country. Never mind. So guys, I think we can open up the conversation, and I'm really curious about what people in the comment section have to say. So if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook right now, then make sure to share a comment with us. We have also received some comments on Facebook, and I think that was a pretty good comment. I think we can even start off with this one because it's a pretty light-hearted. So let me just find the comment, and I'll just share my screen so you can also see it. And the comment was from our fan, or I don't want to say a fan because we don't know, but he's a follower. Can you guys see what I'm sharing?
Yay.
Yeah, so we have a comment from James who said that he was one day lost somewhere in Randers and his boss gave him a taxi number. Days later, he decided to open a SCED text card for the first time. Because the taxi number was registered on my phone as Taxa, he spent 15 minutes on the phone explaining to the taxi lady that he wanted to do his taxes while listening to the rest of her crew laughing. So, I mean, if something like this happens to you in Denmark, well, take it easy. But thank you, James, for sharing this with us. For those of you who do not know, if you want to open your text card, then yeah, the best shot you have is to call SCAD. And ideally, just go to Google and Google SCAD number instead of asking other people for SCAD number, because that can end up in some people laughing at you and maybe even the whole office. But this was the good case because he was having a job and his boss was a nice guy that gave him a number for a taxi when he needed. There are some instances when you actually do not have a nice boss and when you do not have a nice working conditions. This is one of the things that I have fucked up with when I have moved to Denmark, and that is that I was working without a contract for someone on a promise of having a contract. And in my case, it turned out okay. It didn't turn out great. It didn't turn out terrible. It turned out okay. But there are instances when people are working on the promise of contract and they end up without contract and without money. But they have worked for a while. And I think each one of us knows someone or have read a comment somewhere on Facebook about someone that did something like this. Raise your hand if you did. Right? So it's quite common. And usually what happens is that there are people that are running restaurants or cafeterias, and they are taking advantage of gullible new students that do not know too much about a country or work life in general. They ask them to come and work at the restaurant on a promise of getting them a contract after their trial period, which can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. Bottom line is there is no such thing as trial periods, and especially not unpaid trial periods. So if you are ever offered an unpaid trial period, it's most likely going to be a scam. It's not even legal. You can report this person to whatever authority and they will get punished for this. But nevertheless, this sometimes happens. Sometimes people are working on a promise of getting a contract and they end up without getting a contract and without getting a salary. My situation was sort of similar. It was the first job that I got here in Denmark, and it was through someone that I knew. It was, as you would call it, through your network, which I didn't call it like that. Back in the day, it was just friends. Now we call it network. It was a job where I was. It was a job where I was essentially. I was talking for a long time, didn't I? It was essentially a job where I was delivering newspapers and magazines, and it's not the ones that you might be thinking about, like on a scooter or on a bike. This was something different. This was a company, and if the guy that got me the job is watching this, then hello. It was a company that was operated by this one person. He was from Sri Lanka, not that it plays a role, but it might. And he was running this one-man company that was essentially delivering magazines and newspapers on a really crappy one, but we're going to get to that later on. And so essentially, I got signed up to be delivering the magazines and newspapers with him in the middle of the night. And for the first few weeks, I didn't get a contract, but I was under the promise that I will get a contract, which I have actually never gotten. But I was getting my salaries, which was nice. It's getting a bit complicated, so bear with me. After about 2 or 3 months, I hear from this friend of mine that he has a sort of an issue with this person that was supposed to be paying our salary. And he indeed was, but he was paying less than he was supposed to, so my friend, didn't get an SU. In my case, it was fine. It was paying just the enough hours, which to this day is the big question, like, why to me, not to him? Doesn't matter. The point is, that I have actually never seen a physical contract of mine. And at the time, I didn't really care because I had a SU, and I was under the assumption that he's paying enough of my salary to get SU, which I didn't still check to this day. But nonetheless, point is that you want to get a contract. And also, if you are working night shifts, that is supposed to be paid extra. If you are working weekends, that is supposed to be paid extra. If you are driving in work, that is supposed to be paid extra. If you are driving to other city to be working, everything is supposed to be paid extra here in Denmark when you're working as a part-timer. What I didn't know is that you can get all of these things. So I was just working for like 120 kronas or something. And I was working like 10-hour shifts. And I was getting paid for 6 hours. And I was happy because I had a job. And he knew it. So he didn't pay me more. And also, at some point, we were driving in this really crappy big van, but full of newspapers, and it was old and rusty. And when you would switch gears, the gear stick would be left in your arm, so you would have to like stick it back or put a chewing gum and stick it back so you could be able to drive. And at some point, when we were driving, the side door from a van, the big one that you can open, it just fell out from the van. So in the middle of the highway, we just had to put it back and then somehow jam it with screwdrivers so we can then proceed and finish the route. And I didn't get paid extra for this either. So, I mean, that was a pretty crappy experience and a pretty bad first job. Guys, what is your experience with your first job in Denmark, Denise?
Actually, I wanted to ask you something about SU. How could you get SU without showing a contract of work?
That's a brilliant question, Denise.
Because that's what we know, that you have to submit a contract.
The first thing you have to do, like when you're applying for that, you have to enclose the contract.
I think it might be possible that I had some makeshift contract, but it was maybe just like there is some Michael and there is some signature and it says some number of hours. Trust us that we will pay this guy kind of a salary contract. So not like your regular contract with 15 pages and everything.
Actually, I would also add, guys, to maybe increase the credibility of the Michael's claim about the van. I'm not sure if he remembers, but you actually gave me once a ride in the van.
Really?
Yeah, you did. We didn't really know each other back then that well, but anyway, I was never so afraid for my life, when driving that van.
It was pretty bad.
It was
pretty
quite
bad.
an experience. Let's call it like this.
But it was also first job, so it was okay for a start. But definitely, I would not recommend you to work in a shady place. But it's not always as easy as when I say it.
True.
So, guys, Michael?
Well, one should also be careful. I once, as you said, that there's no such thing as free working or like free test period. My first attempt to get a job was actually like 7 months after coming to Denmark, because I had savings and I didn't really think I need to work, which turned out that savings are not forever, and when your currency, or like when Denmark is like 3 times more expensive than your own country, and you have the account in your currency, the money is going away pretty quick. So I was still looking for a job, but I was very desperate. Like I had lost, I don't know, 2,000 kronas on my account, and then I bumped into this unnamed restaurant that had, I believe, 3 12-hour shifts as a like try period, and then the owner, she told me that I'm going to be paid, I believe it was 75 kronas per hour. And I said, well, that's not enough for a SU. And she was like, no, don't worry. We're going to give you like a contract for 110 kronas that you're going to get for a SU, but your real contract is going to be for 75. And I was like, what is happening here? Like,
Actually,
that's very illegal.
Sorry to interrupt you, but this was also the deal between me and this Sri Lankan guy, that he would write me on my contract 43 hours or something like that, so I would get SU. Okay, thinking back at it, I maybe had some sort of a contract, but he would write like 43 hours, but I would only work according to our deal like 35, so I would pay him back the rest of the money. While in reality, I was working like 60 hours and night shifts and overtimes and everything, and he still wanted some money back. But I never gave it to him because I was like, oh, this was too much. So yeah, continue, Michael.
But yeah, that's very illegal, and it's just no go. Like, you're pretty much being a slave at that, like, in this position.
Yeah, but I saw some group on in, sorry to interrupt you, in Aalborg, I think, or Odense. Well, recently there was some movement which have taken down the rating of one restaurant which was notorious for abusing students, and they have created this Facebook group in Aalborg. I think it was something like, I don't know, fair working conditions in Aalborg or kind of a thing, where they share news about these places that are abusing students like this. So again, if we ever encounter it again, we're gonna share it either on our website or our Facebook profile, so you can join it too, so you can avoid being scammed by these people.
It's sad that we can see so many people being scammed, even though it's Denmark. Like, Denmark is not perfect, but it's good enough.
Yeah, but then again, majority of the time, it's not Danish people that are using these tricks. Just saying.
We have a question in the comments from Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And Sadmi is asking if, as a student from Asia, can get SU after 2 months after arriving to Denmark. Unfortunately not, as SU is only for EU students. So yeah, sorry, Sadmi. There are though certain how to call it, exceptions for this, and that is if you would arrive with your parents before reaching 19 years of age, or if you come as a refugee, you can also get some kind of support as SU and stuff. where you just have to be naturalized. So unfortunately, if you are coming just as us as students, then it's not going to be possible for you.
Yeah. So another one of the other fuck ups that I have personally committed when I was moving to Denmark is that I have not set up my taxes properly. And if you do not know what it is that I'm talking about the tax card and about taxes, then let me just find this and share my screen. There is a video on our YouTube about this very topic, about setting up taxes when you move to Denmark. If you wonder who that handsome guy is on the video, and he will explain to you very clearly in a very easy way how to actually set up the tax card and what it is. Because long story short is, if you want to get taxed, or if you want to get paid salary in Denmark, you need to be taxed first. And before you are taxed, you need to establish this tax card, which is not a physical card, but it is an extension of some piece of a software somewhere that says how much you will be taxed in percentage. And what you do is that you go to scat.dk, which is the official tax authority website. You fill in some numbers, which are representing how much you will be earning in a year. And then they will calculate this tax amount for you. It's a bit complicated when I say it like this, but I did much better job in the video. So that is one of the fuck ups that I did, but you can avoid it. And that's also the reason why this channel started. So you can avoid the fuck ups that me and Yaro did.
Have you ever been to into chemistry or something, Michael?
Chemistry? Yeah, very briefly for that one video.
Come on, it's a library.
It was a library. Can we set up tax card before going to Denmark without a CPR number? Yes. Yes, you can, my friend. And again, I'm going to share my tab and I'm going to show you a great resource for where you can learn more. You just simply go to studentsurvivalguide.dk, where there's a
I
beautiful
wanted
website.
to guess where it's gonna be. I wanted to guess what you're gonna show, but all right.
And it's gonna be how to start working before blah blah blah. It's gonna pop up somewhere. Can you start working in Denmark before university starts? Great question, right? Yes, you can. And in this blog, you can find the exact step-by-step process of how to start working in Denmark if you do not have a CPR number yet. So if you don't have a CPR number, then you can get a tax number. Just remember that one thing, okay, this is a lot, I'm just gonna stop scrolling. You can find the blog, it's called How to Start Working in Denmark Before University Starts. One thing you need to keep in mind is that if you want to work in Denmark, you need to have a work permit. If you are from outside of EU, you need to obtain this, and we didn't go into detail about that one because majority of the people watching this are from EU, so we didn't bother, but you can probably find some resources online about this very topic. Then we have a question from Kiran. Why is SU not available to EU students? That's a great question. Let's forward that to the parliament, maybe. I don't know.
One should think about that. SU is not a right; it's a benefit, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, precisely.
About that, I just know that the European Union kind of required Denmark to offer SU also for international students, but from EU. So it comes from the European Union, not from Denmark.
Yeah. Okay, so yet another fuck up that we did together with Yara, this one is a collective, is that we have not taken pictures when we have moved to a new apartment. Yara, can you tell from our experience what has happened when we were living together?
Of course, we can, and I will try to be brief in this case. Both me and Michael, when we moved together for the first time, I believe so, it was in one of the dormitories here in Horsens. I'm not going to tell the name, but if you live in Horsens, you know. Anyway, what is advised? Let's go it like this. When you first arrive into your apartment, is basically to check the conditions. They actually ask you to maybe write down a piece of paper. Is there something missing from the equipment that needs to be there? is there something that's broken or anything like this? And of course it's kind of, if I remember, it wasn't really mandatory. We could do it, but we didn't. And also we didn't make any photos of the place, how it looked like when we entered, so there was nothing to compare it to when we were leaving. Therefore, when we were leaving a year and a half later, I believe so, there was a lot of sort of, let's call it like damages or things that needed repair that were caused by actually tenants before us, or maybe even tenants before the tenants that came before us.
Oh,
And
of course.
yeah, since we
We
were the
know.
last, they did it, but since we didn't have any proof that we weren't the ones who caused it, well, we were the ones who had to pay for it.
Precisely. And what did we do with Yarrow once we moved out of that place into a new place? We didn't take any pictures. And what we did after we moved from that place to a new place, you guessed it, we didn't take any pictures. So now, with a fourth chance, when we are moving outside of this apartment in 4 months, we finally have a chance, Yarrow, to take a lot of pictures. Let's put it on a to-do
But I can
list,
get like
okay?
extra phone just for the apartment pictures.
We're just gonna hire Radim and pay him like 10 hours, like pay his rate, just so he takes picture of every corner of the apartment. Yeah,
And also,
so
can you pay for my travel, because it might be a bit far? Is it also included?
you know what? I'm just gonna go on Fiverr and I'm just gonna search for someone.
No.
$5. Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, it doesn't even work. Never mind. So, guys, fourth thing that I want to talk about, and that is like a very tiny thing that is very niche and it's only for a very specific amount of people. And to answer your question, Yurai, yeah, we did make our website ourselves. Is that when I was moving to Denmark, I was coming with a car because I was very privileged. So I was lucky enough to come with a car. But there is one... I feel like my mouth is going to get me into problems one day. But I knew that... but I didn't knew what I didn't know, to put it and phrase it properly, is that there is this thing in Denmark which is called a parking desk. And you might not know about it when you are not yet in Denmark. But essentially, a parking desk allows you to be parking in Denmark. And I'm trying to find a proper picture of how it looks like. Yeah, but this one is a good one. No, wait, this is the digital one. You cannot afford the
It's
digital
called a
one.
park one. Oh, if you mean the digital one.
The digital one? What?
Yeah, that's called a park one.
Yeah. I actually do not have it myself because it's too expensive. I'm just looking for the paper one. But
We
it's
are not the millionaires.
yeah, precisely. I mean, hey, 300 kronas. I'll rather pay the fines. So when you want to park your car somewhere in Denmark, then you have to stick this thing onto your car windshield. And when you park somewhere where it allows you to park for only 2 hours, you have to turn the disc to the hour where you have parked, which is quite a thing that is not really anywhere in Europe, as far as I know. Maybe in Norway or somewhere. I don't know. What is your experience, guys? Do you have this in your countries?
At certain places.
Well, what we have in this...
Come on, Michael, we don't have it.
don't flex. Come on.
Stop
We know where
showing
you live.
off.
We know where
I
you're
mean,
from.
if you want to go to like a city hall or something and you use the public parking behind the city hall, then yeah, you have to get this, but you have to actually buy this card from the town hall and then put it back to your car.
Ah, okay.
I mean, that's the life in Ostrava.
Wow.
Ostrava. All right. Well, essentially in Denmark, in majority of the places where you will go if you travel by car, in almost every city, there is going to be a parking sign like this, which when you see it for the first time, you'll be like, what is this? And essentially it says that in the week, it's going to be, you need to use the parking desk from 8 until 6. And in the weekend, it's the same because that's in a brackets. And you can park for 2 hours. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do they know if I'm parking for 2 hours? And the answer to that is that you have to have this thing on your windshield and you turn it to the hour where you have parked. And for next 2 hours after you have parked, it's going to be valid. Now you can guess if I knew about this the first time I parked in Denmark. I didn't, of course. So I got a fine, of course. And it was expensive, of course.
Exactly, and
How much
you would
was
be 750, I would assume.
Yeah, I think so. 750 or 850 or I don't know. It goes into crazy amounts.
Which is, and it's actually kind of fun. I believe, for the first time when I was in Denmark, I was like, yeah, no, who checks this kind of stuff, does
They
the
do.
city have like a dedicated employee to check the parking disk? And yes,
They do.
They do. They're like, they're like secret police.
Yeah. Well, but that's where you're wrong, kiddo. It's not the city. It's a private company that is doing it. If it was the city, they would not give a fuck.
Oh, I
Well,
guess
I
so,
mean,
yeah.
of course they do, but they would be they would not be so diligent. But yeah, it's the private companies, and they are sort of assholes if you want to do anything with it. I don't know if you remember, Yaro, back when we were living at Kamchatka,
Yeah.
one morning. Yeah, so make a long story short, where we were living at a dormitory, if you wanted to park, you had to have a piece of paper which says that you are allowed to park in this parking lot because it was an enclosed private parking lot, and it was freely distributed to students. You had to have it behind your windshield at all the times when you were parking. But what happened is that, well, okay, this happened I think actually twice, but once it happened that I just took it out from the windshield for some reason the evening before. I think it fell on the floor or something, and I didn't want to put it there. I don't know. I was lazy, but I didn't have it. So in the morning, it was like 7:50. We were going to school. We woke up, dressed up, and as I was walking slowly towards my car, I can see this person in the bright blue clothes that they are all wearing from the Europark with a cap and with a phone, and she was doing something around my car, and I was like, what is she interested to buy it? Like, yeah, I'm selling. And then I saw her like putting something into a smartphone, and then a piece of yellow paper came out of her pocket or something. I was like, fuck, there goes 100 euros. So I just rushed to her and I was like, come on, I have the permit. Like, see, I have it. And she was like, nah, it's in a system already, so you cannot do much. I was like, great. So I was like literally standing there while she was putting it into the system. Taking out the ticket and putting it behind my wheelchair. So that was like awesome. And the second time this happened was in the same place, same situation. This time, the difference was that the permit, and I shit you not, it was valid from the 1st of January until the last day of 2017, I think, at that point. Guess which asshole was 8 a.m., 1st of January, in that parking lot, checking the permits. I mean, come on.
2 years in a row in my case. Like
What?
every time on 2nd of January, a small white piece of paper behind the wiper.
This is one of the things.
And the most stupid thing about that is you can get a permit for free. You just go inside of the 7-Eleven, you get a red piece of paper with a scratched validity, and you go back to your car and put it there. Everyone can get it for free.
No. But guess who is making money on 1st and 2nd of January?
Atcoa or Europark.
Of course.
But that's-
And then try to complain. So, yeah. The best case is to just, I don't know, get a bike. It's the cheapest option here in Denmark. We have a question from Davidas that, sorry, yeah, Radim?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention that with the bikes, there's also quite a lot of fucked ups, and you might get stopped like pretty easily, and it might not be so cheap as well if you're going, let's say, without lights or driving like two
Don't have
people on a
lights.
bike, or we tried like 4 people on one bike. It might be pretty expensive.
Yeah, Radim, I think, you know what, let me just answer this quick question and then you'll get a word. And I feel like we are going to be sitting here for a long time because there are going to be quite a lot of fuck-ups. We might extend it for next week. But we have a question from Davidas. He said that he just got an email from DR. Yes,
DR.
finally. It took 3 live streams. DR is here. He got an email from DR asking him to register their website and pay media tax. Should I ignore them for the time being? So we already might have some institutions and politicians looking into this channel, so we have to be politically correct with our answer. But we have made a blog about this topic. You can go to Students for Alligator DK, and in the top right corner there is a search box. You can search for DR license, and you can find our opinion on DR license in there. That's all we can say. So, Radim, you and the bikes.
Oh, well, oh yeah. Except the fact that I was driving like an idiot on a cross sections because I didn't know the rules. I got over it. It's all right. But then it
Mhm.
happened to me that I was going to buy some, let's say, drinks, and I put my bike in front of the store, and I put there a lock, but the lock was pretty rusty, and the thing that happened to me was that it got stuck. And the officer came to me when I was trying to unlock it somehow, and it didn't work. So it looked like I was stealing the bike, and he came and he asked, "What am I doing?" And I show him the key that I'm just trying to get it out of, like, because it's locked. It's locked. And he told me that it's all right, and then he left. And then probably I consumed some drinks, and I was going back home, and I met the same officer, but he just told me, because I wasn't able to drive a bike, he told me that it's pretty good that I'm just walking with the bike because I didn't have any lights, and it I could have got like pretty decent fine. I think it's 700 for every single light. But he passed by and he was like, "Yeah, I saw you already. But it's pretty nice that you are walking with the bike." I was barely walking, I think, at that time. But he was like, "Yeah," he was pretty nice. So it wasn't like really fucked up, but he just tried to save my ass.
I think I need to buy a new bike lights. I don't know if you see it.
I think you gotta press those lights like a bit to turn them on.
That's awesome, guys. It's my birthday tomorrow. Now I know what I want for birthday as a present. So
Together.
okay, bike balls. So, and you said Rajim something about riding with two people on one bike.
Oh yeah, like you cannot ride, like two people cannot be on a bike, on a one bike, let's say. You can get fined. And I think also it's 700 for every single one. And then like when we were a bit tipsy, I think we tried four people on a bike. Like I got one guy on my shoulders, one in a basket in the front, and one in the back. And
Impressive.
it didn't work. I gotta say that it didn't work, and it's not the way how to make your way out of the pub faster. It doesn't work.
Out of a club?
Yeah, we were going probably out of the pub club or something like that. I don't know, but it wasn't faster. It was just a bit more dangerous, but it didn't work.
But hey, they are pretty happy when they are doing it. So
I think we were shit faced. We were not so happy.
yeah. Well, I mean, Rajim, I would not laugh if I was you because we might find you here soon somewhere.
Stop
Can we
it.
try four people on the bike?
I think I
Oh,
might have
okay.
a picture somewhere. Oh no, we didn't.
I
We
didn't
didn't
see
have
this
such a
coming.
bike.
I mean, hey,
Guys, we
This-
should get this for the whole team.
this
And just
this is
bike and promote around.
this is a Danish dream, by the way. If Danish family dreams could materialize, it would be this bike.
But actually, isn't it really difficult to actually ride this kind of bike with four people, or just even with two?
I don't know. They
Oh,
seem to
what
be
is this?
nailing it pretty easily.
I won those flags.
Those flags. Oh yeah, what country is this?
That's Cambodia.
All right, awesome. Do we have some viewer from Cambodia right now watching this? That would be fun.
No.
Wow, unicycle.
Oh, I can ride this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to show us.
Actually, I think. Oh yeah, there. I'm pretty sure I can find some pictures, but I was trying to find a picture of like four people on a bike, but I think it's just deleted or hidden somewhere.
Radim, is this you riding?
On the way to Norway.
All the way to Norway. Yeah, for those of you who do not know, Radim is a bit crazy, and with his brother, they went to bike or to cycle from Czech Republic all the way to the north of Norway on bikes. And how long did it take you guys?
30 days, I guess, and it was like 4,000 kilometers. So yeah,
Is
it
this your
takes some
Instagram?
time.
Oh wait, what is this your Instagram? I think this is your Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's us. But yeah, I think we're planning to do something this summer as well. Hopefully, it's gonna work because of the like. I hope the borders will be open.
Yeah, it looks awesome, and I would love to enlarge it, but Instagram doesn't want to do it unless I log in. So, wow, awesome,
Yeah,
beautiful
but
news.
it was not unicycle.
It was.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Well, so now you know what you're gonna do this summer. Then. Oh, you already tried it once with the normal bikes. Is
I'm
that
not
really
planning to
cycle?
do it. I don't think it's a good idea.
You know, actually, I would how would it work with the unicycle if you would be going uphill?
I mean, it works because then you can quite easily the saddle that's on the unicycle. There is like the space where you can hold it, so you can just
Oh,
stand
okay.
and like ride in like while standing, let's say. So it actually works. But the problem is when you are going downhill, you got to brake with your legs, and it's not super comfortable. So yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
I would fail so bad driving a unicycle. Like that's
Have you
not gonna
tried?
happen ever.
Okay, maybe now is the great time to pull out the ace from our sleeves, which is in our case Reddit, and specifically a subreddit called "Today I Fucked Up," which seems to be very appropriate for today's theme. Anyways, it's gonna be quite a long test, but it was quite funny. Should I read it out loud?
Maybe. Well, it's kind of long one, so
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
think
it's
you
I
read
pretty
it
just
long.
before.
saw
Okay,
all of us
okay,
like
just
going close to the screen, so it would be better if you can just read it.
Okay,
yeah,
but
I think
wait,
you read it. Can you just give us a summary?
it's concerned with breathe and
Oh
and
yeah, is it the one at the airport?
yeah,
Yeah,
the
of
one
course.
at the airport. So
That was a
this was pretty good.
funny one.
Okay, so let's just maybe okay. You know what? I'll just make a new tab and make this whole thing a bit more, make it a bit more thematic. So Denmark, wheat. We are so not getting sponsored by anyone ever. I'm telling you. Oh, it's okay. At least we have some laughs. So here is a little background to the story. Okay, so this post is from 3 years ago. Okay, and I picked it up because I think it summarizes Denmark so well on so many levels. You'll see once I finish reading this. Anyways, it's posted by Reddit user somewhere on the internet, and the title is "Today I fucked up by almost getting banned from the country of Denmark." And it begins. So over the summer, I went to Europe with my sister for 2 weeks. One of my best friends was working in Copenhagen for the summer, and I needed some time away from my sister, so I flew up there for the weekend. The second morning I was there, she took me to a little area called Christiania, where they openly sell and smoke marijuana. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you're ever in Copenhagen, just a neat little area, even if you're not an avid smoker. My flight wasn't till later, so I was more than overjoyed to smoke before I had to leave. So my friend and I bought a few joints and smoked up and wandered around for a bit. I decided that it would be a swell idea for Christiania to throw a couple of G's in a pack of cigarettes and throw it in my backpack and bring it back to the people in my Barcelona hostel. Mind you, in February, I snacked some edibles on a plane from Toronto through Detroit to Wisconsin and did the same thing. Keep it in plain sight and nobody will notice. And it worked. It fucking worked. Until the security officer asked me if I had any liquids in my backpack. I replied no, but my high ass forgot. He was still high, it was the same day. But my high ass forgot that I had taken my shaving cream out of the little baggie that morning. So then she got the cotton swabs out. And I'm just sitting there like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. She goes through my backpack with a swab, and when she got to the pocket with her swab, I froze up and I stoned. And in a stoned cry, I said, "Ma'am, I have 2 joints in my backpack." She looked at me stunned and asked me to repeat what I said. Fuck! I have marijuana in my backpack. I was then asked to have a seat. 15 minutes go by until the police get there, and I'm just sitting there wondering what Danish jail looks like. Pretty nice, by the way. One of the cops comes to tell me. One of the cops comes to me, tells me to collect my things and follow him. He says, "You royally fucked up," he said. "But it's not the end of the world. You are being charged with possession of marijuana outside of Freetown, Christiania. You will have the choice of paying 2,000 Danish kroner, which is equal to about 250 euros. You can either pay me now or you can try to fight it in court, which I wouldn't recommend," said the police officer, "unless you plan on staying here for a while." We walked to an ATM and I withdrew the cash. We walked into his office and he questioned me for a while. About 4 or 5 police officers came into the office. They spoke in Danish for about 5 minutes, and then the cop turned to me and said, "They want to bring this to the federal police and have you banned from the country. But I told them your last name was Jakobsen and that your great-grandparents would be very pissed if I got you banned from your homeland." His name was actually Jakobsen and he is of Danish descent. He also said that in the back day he was part of the Danish DEA and worked with the actual drugs, and it was blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. He mentioned he was from Wisconsin and his pleasure, blah, blah, blah. He said that he was going to go there for a vacation. And that was actually the end of story. His passport got stamped, he paid the little fine, and that was it. He was on the way from Copenhagen to Barcelona. Of course, he didn't get to actually keep the weed. That's a sad story. But on a good note, you can get caught with weed in Denmark and not go immediately to jail, which is quite a nice thing. Okay, guys, what are your impressions of this story?
Well, one big impression, like if you would be unlucky enough and end up in a jail, Michael, I think you can show the Danish Storstrom prison.
The Danish what?
It's called a Storstrom prison. STOR.
Wait, what is that? Storstrom prison, Denmark. Okay.
That looks better than my first apartment.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me just share my screen.
It looks better than our current apartment, person.
Okay. Wait, where is it? We are looking for a new apartment, so I mean, hey.
That's in the middle of Sjælland.
Not great.
Yeah, that's not the best. I mean, unless they have like a really good Wi-Fi, then it's all right because we anyways go to classes online. Huh. Well, is this the food that they are being served in that prison? No, I hope not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Huh. So there is a prison like this in Denmark. I'm trying to find more images. Yeah.
Look at the first picture, the accommodation, like.
Wow, is this a...
That's a prison cell, the second picture.
This is a prison cell.
Wow.
Yes.
And the one on the right, is it also in a
Wow.
prison or is it some kind of meditation?
Yeah, I guess that for
course?
relaxation or something. Yeah, and they have
No.
each has its own bathroom.
Wow.
This begs a question, what do you have to do to get into this kind of a place? But in this case, I don't know. I don't know if you want to do that thing.
This is insane.
Yeah,
How casual. Like, I mean, this is a thing that you can even put on your Instagram. You don't even have to be ashamed for ending up in there.
and, he's like, I just killed 3 people, you know.
Hashtag thinking about a future. Oh, that's awesome. Denmark is great. You just gotta love it. I mean, this is a better background than our videos have.
God damn it, what is this?
This is great. Let's see. Elementary school in Slovakia.
Oh, that's a prison.
And this is a nice one. Just to put things in perspective, right? You write with chalk on a board. So I don't wanna say that there is inequality in this world, but hey, Compare the two pictures.
That
So
looks
guys-
like a nice postcard to send home.
That's is. I mean, I would probably be able to tell my mom like, "Hey, look, I made it here," and she would be proud of me.
Like, what a beautiful office you have.
Guys, you made it! You finally made it! Someone gave you a nice office. This is awesome. I bet they even have a. I think there was this Norwegian prison,
Oh yeah, that one was really nice.
and they had even like a music room. And this is like the actual studio inside of a prison in Norway. Just saying, if you ever think about smuggling drugs,
Do it
smuggle
in
them
Norway.
Precisely.
You- You think twice about a country. You don't have to think twice about whether to smuggle or not to smuggle, but where to smuggle.
Is everyone on a panel from Slovakia? Is a question from Facebook. No, but about 50% is.
Wait, what?
No, wait.
50%.
20.
Aren't you the
No,
only
it's
one?
not.
Yeah, the only
You are
one,
the
the
only
only
one.
one.
I'm the other one. But there are 3 people from Czech Republic, so it's sort of the same thing. If you would ask if we are
That's
from
not
Czech,
the same.
similar.
Yeah, it's Europe, so like,
We have a comment from our flatmate who says that Yaro, I think you forgot your pasta on the stove.
Again?
Oh no.
Well, I mean, this might be the great time to wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining today's live stream. I hope you had some laughs. I hope we have covered some of the things that we wanted to cover. We will probably continue with this topic next week because apparently there is quite a lot of ways that we have fucked up in this country, and we still haven't heard Madara and Denisa to share their embarrassing stories. We've only shared ours. So until next week, thank you guys for joining. Make sure to go to Students Get a DK and find your answers in the blogs, because majority of the things that you guys were asking in the comments are already on the blog. So just go and read up and stay in touch on social media. Thank you for joining for today, and that's it. We have a terrible outro. Goodbye.